There was a time when everything felt under control. At least, that's what he told himself. Every day started the same way. Late alarm, heavy eyes, a quick look at the phone that somehow turned into 20 minutes of scrolling. Then panic, rushing. No plan, no direction. Just reacting to whatever came next. And at the end of the day, there was always the same feeling. I was busy, but I didn't really do anything important. Days passed like this, then weeks, then months. Nothing changed. Not because he wasn't capable, not because he didn't have goals, but because something invisible was controlling his life. Time. It wasn't loud, it didn't warn him, it didn't stop. It just kept moving, quietly taking everything with it. And the worst part? He didn't even notice how much he was losing. He would say things like, "I'll start tomorrow. I just need the right moment. I still have time." But tomorrow kept moving forward, and the right moment never came. One night, something felt different. He sat alone, tired but unable to sleep. Not physically tired, but mentally exhausted. That strange feeling when you know you're not where you're supposed to be. So he asked himself one honest question. Where did my time actually go today? He tried to remember. Morning, phone. Afternoon, switching between tasks but finishing none. Evening, more distractions, more delays. And suddenly, it became clear. It wasn't that he didn't have time. He was losing it, piece by piece, without control. That realization hit hard, because for the first time, he understood something most people ignore. Time is not the problem. How you use it is. The next morning, nothing magical happened. He didn't wake up at 5 a.m. He didn't suddenly become perfect, but he did something small and different. He woke up just 30 minutes earlier. At first, it felt uncomfortable. His body resisted. His mind tried to convince him to go back to sleep. But he stayed up.
And for the first time in a long time, there was silence. No notifications, no pressure, no noise. Just time. He didn't waste it. He sat down and thought carefully. What actually matters today? Not everything, just a few important things. He wrote them down. It wasn't a long list, just simple, clear actions. And something changed immediately. That day felt different. Not easier, but clearer. He didn't jump from one thing to another. He didn't waste energy deciding what to do next. He already knew. For the first time, he wasn't reacting to the day. He was leading it. By the middle of the day, something unexpected happened. He finished his first important task, completely. No distractions, no switching, just focus. That small win felt powerful, because it proved something important. Progress doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right thing, fully. Of course, it wasn't perfect. There were moments when he still reached for his phone, moments when his focus broke, moments when old habits tried to come back. But now he noticed it, and that awareness changed everything. Instead of losing hours, he lost minutes and came back faster. Little by little, he started understanding a deeper truth. You don't control time. You control your attention. And where your attention goes, your life follows. That was the beginning. Not a big transformation, not a dramatic change, just small, honest steps in the right direction. At first, it felt like progress. Waking up earlier, writing a short plan, finishing one important task. But then reality started to push back, because change is not comfortable. A few days later, the old patterns slowly returned. He would start his work, focused, clear, ready. Then a notification. Just one quick check. A message, a video, another scroll. 5 minutes turned into 15. 15 turned into 30. And just like that, the focus was gone. He tried to go back to work, but something felt different.
His mind was no longer sharp. Simple tasks felt heavier. Thinking became slower. Starting again felt harder than starting the first time. That's when he realized something dangerous. Distraction doesn't just take your time. It breaks your momentum. And rebuilding that momentum takes energy, a lot of it. One afternoon it got worse. He had planned 3 important tasks, simple ones, clear ones. But instead of doing them, he kept switching. Start one, stop. Open another, leave it halfway. Check the phone, again. By the end of the day, everything was still unfinished, and the feeling came back. That heavy, frustrating thought, I did so much, but nothing is actually done. That night, he didn't ignore it. He faced it. He looked at his day honestly, not with excuses, not with blame, just truth. And the truth was uncomfortable. He wasn't lacking time. He was lacking focus. So he made a decision, not a big one, a simple rule. One task, one focus. The next day he tested it. No complex plan, no long list, just one task. He sat down, put his phone away, and told himself, for the next 20 minutes, nothing else exists. The first few minutes were hard. His mind kept trying to escape. Check your phone. Do something easier. This is boring. But he didn't move. Minute by minute, something changed. His thoughts slowed down. His attention became stable. And then, something powerful happened. He entered a state he hadn't felt in a long time. Deep focus. Time felt different. It wasn't fast. It wasn't slow. It was controlled. When he finished, he looked at the clock. 20 minutes. But the result? Better than what he used to do in 2 hours. That moment changed his perspective completely. Because now he understood, it's not about working longer. It's about working deeper. From that day, he started using small time blocks, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, sometimes 30, always with full focus, no distractions, no switching. And something surprising happened. Starting became easier. Before, he would delay tasks because they felt too big. Now, he just told himself, just 15 minutes. And that removed the pressure. Most of the time, he continued even after. But even if he didn't, it was still progress. Because consistency started to build. Of course, distractions didn't disappear. They were still there, waiting, trying. But now he saw them clearly. Every time he picked up his phone, he asked himself one simple question. Is this helping me or stealing my time? Sometimes he still chose wrong, but not as often. And more importantly, not for long. He came back faster. That was the difference. He also noticed something else. When he worked without breaks, his energy dropped quickly. He became tired, unfocused, and irritated. So he changed that too. After every focused session, he took a short break, not with his phone, not with distractions, just simple rest, walking, breathing, resetting. And when he came back, his mind was fresh again, stronger, clearer, more controlled. Slowly, day by day, he started feeling something new. Not motivation, control. Not pressure, clarity. Not chaos, direction. And for the first time in a long time, he felt like he was moving forward. Not fast, but real. At this point, things were better. Not perfect, but better. He was waking up earlier. He was focusing more. He was finishing tasks. But something still didn't feel complete. Because even with all this progress, some days still slipped away. Not completely wasted, but not fully used either. That's when he realized one final truth. If you don't measure your time, you don't really control it. So one evening he tried something different. He decided to track his entire day, not in a complicated way, just simple, honest notes. 7 o'clock, wake up 7:30, breakfast 8 o'clock, work 9:15, phone 9:40, back to work, and so on. At the end of the day, he looked at everything, and what he saw surprised him. The small moments, the just 5 minutes, the quick check, the little delays, when added together, they were hours.
Real hours. Gone. That hit him hard, because now there was no guessing, no excuses, just reality. And reality was clear. Time wasn't disappearing. He was giving it away to things that didn't matter. From that moment, his mindset changed again. He didn't try to remove everything. He didn't try to become perfect. He just started asking one question more often. Does this deserve my time? If the answer was no, he reduced it, slowly, step by step. Less random scrolling, less useless thinking, less meaningless habits. And something powerful happened. He created space. Space for what actually mattered. Learning, working, growing, thinking clearly. But the biggest change didn't come from planning, or tracking, or focusing. It came from reflection. Every night before sleeping, he sat quietly. No phone, no noise, just himself and his day. He asked 3 simple questions. What did I do well today? Where did I waste time? What will I do better tomorrow? At first, the answers were uncomfortable, but they were honest. And honesty created improvement. Because now, every day became a lesson, not a repeat. He stopped blaming himself, stopped feeling guilty. Instead, he started learning, adjusting, improving, day by day, small changes, but consistent ones. And over time, those small changes built something bigger, a new way of living. Now, his days were not perfect, but they had direction, they had intention, they had purpose, and most importantly, they had control. One night, he sat again in silence, but this time the feeling was different. No frustration, no confusion, just clarity. And he finally understood something that most people realize too late. Life is not made of years. It is made of days. And days are made of hours. And hours are made of choices. Small choices, repeated every single day. He thought about his past. All the time he said later. All the days he delayed. All the moments he wasted without thinking. And then he looked at his present and saw something powerful. Change didn't come from one big decision. It came from small decisions, made daily. Waking up a little earlier, planning one day ahead, focusing on one task, saying no to distractions, using small time wisely, reflecting honestly. Simple things, but done consistently. And that's when it became clear. Time is not something you spend. Time is something you invest. Every hour used well builds your future. Every hour wasted slowly takes it away. You don't need more time. You need better choices. You don't need a perfect plan. You need consistent action.
And you don't need to change everything overnight. You just need to start small, right now. Because in the end, there is one truth you cannot escape. You cannot stop time, but you can decide what it creates in your life. So the question is simple. What are you going to do with yours?